Welcome to this week's edition of Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Chi-Chen Lo. Since the 17th century, Taiwan has been a colonial and immigration society. However, in the recent years, there are new waves of immigrants coming from Southeast Asia and from the mainland China. However, our government has been criticized for lacking a consistent and comprehensive immigration policy. So how do we read into Taiwan's immigration policy and the trends of immigration towards Taiwan? Joining us today is Professor Yen-Fen Tseng. She's the chairperson of the Sociology department from the very famous National Taiwan University. Professor Tseng, welcome to our program.
I'm honored to be here to share my thoughts on this issue.
As we know that in the recent years, there have been more and more immigrants coming from the Southeast Asian countries and also from the Chinese mainland. Do you think that we are now having a very serious immigration problem in Taiwan?
Serious in terms of our reactions to the phenomena. I think we meaning the people in the society and also the government officials and relevant agencies all lack the psychological preparations for what is happening now.
That's right.
And so it's kind of serious in this way.
But the government has been criticized for lacking a very comprehensive immigration policy in dealing with this kind of new immigration problems. Do you think our government should be responsible for lacking or for lacking the design of a very comprehensive policy?
Okay, I think we should probably take a look at what constitutes of our immigrant population today in Taiwan. One is the so-called foreign spouses, and those including the mainland Chinese migrating from mainland, of course. And in the other part, I would call them also migrants, are foreign workers. So these are the two main bodies of this population. And I think that our government hasn't done enough to address the issues of foreign workers. Mainly to block their entry into immigration channel. However, they cannot block the way, the channel for foreign spouses to come in.
That's right.
So then we now see this so-called the side doors phenomena, meaning that whenever a country, its industry and society advance, neighboring countries will come, the people from neighboring countries will come to seek job opportunities. This is natural. But then if we block the so-called main door for them to seek for economic opportunities, they will come to side door. It's not, the side door is not illegal, but actually their interest is to better their economic well-being as well. And because to be a foreign worker in Taiwan cannot apply for immigrants.
That's right.
So, you know, the only way for them to reside here permanently is through marriage channels.
That's right.
So,
so they are legally coming here with a marriage permit or, you know, through marriage, but actually they are here to work.
It's not very strange. I mean, they are coming to better their life. So probably by working outside the household in the formal employment market, or working as domestic. I would say they work as well, but they are not paid.
That's right.
But they probably will have some other compensation, like you know, sending money back home. They will have, you know, all kinds of economic arrangements with their new families.
Are you saying that our government's policy towards the foreign workers are quite restrictive?
Very restrictive. It's actually prohibiting. I should say it's prohibitions, not only restrictions, in terms of their chance of becoming, you know, members of our society.
But isn't that true that we have already imported a lot of so-called foreign workers?
Yes. Our dependency on foreign workers has never declined since the early 1990s, when the first policy implemented. The the phenomena itself calls for our attention that for any kind of industrialized society like our own, we always have a labor market demand for for certain jobs, especially the so-called 3D jobs. Local people, they are not aspire to do this types of jobs. They would rather go to work as service workers.
That's right.
You know, in the air-conditioned, environment, but not in factories.
But some people criticize that these are people who are taking jobs away from some local people. Is that a fair statement to say that?
This has been a lot of debates already, not only in Taiwan, also in countries that have huge presence of foreign workers. But research shows again and again that once you imported foreign workers, unless you don't do that in the first place, but as long as you brought in the first wave of the foreign workers, the labor market here will develop a so-called structural dependency
on the foreign workers.
On the foreign workers. The employers prefer foreign workers over native workers, and that's very obvious. So for countries that wanted to think about why and how, and even whether they would import foreign workers, they really should think about this very, very seriously.
Yeah, but are you saying that the market force should be the one who will be deciding the out and in of the so-called foreign workers?
Every policy of bringing in foreign workers is a political one. It's not the market that decides. It's the government. But once you brought them in, then everything is really market-driven. So what I'm saying is that the government should really think about their role when they first bring in the foreign workers.
But as we know that our government has already opened up our labor market to the foreign workers.
Yes.
So are you suggesting that the only way that the government can do is to keep opening up our labor market to the foreign workers?
No, I think that for our government, we should address to the reality that we have a structural dependency on foreign workers. And now what we have, when I say that when we prohibit their becoming immigrants or members of our society, we are doing this by sending them home every 3 years term, and they can reapply for only one more term.
That's right.
That means that at maximum they can work here for 6 years. But as we know that it's very artificial and very against their motivations. Once you work overseas, you really want to work, when you are young, you really want to work as many years as possible.
That's right.
And so what we are seeing now is that because our government, to the political interest, they want to make sure that these workers go home in a due time. And so they put a lot of restrictions and even very many policies really prohibiting their market freedom.
That's right.
Such as they cannot change employers as they wish.
That's right.
So this put them into the situation for being a very vulnerable workers, and a lot of abuses, violences, and unfair treatments against them.
In terms of the market of labor forces, some people criticize the government for benefiting only a small number of travel agents in terms of importing foreign workers. So the market is not really free in some way. Do you think that is true?
Actually, the brokers, I think what you are we are talking about, the brokers, the number of brokers is huge. They are in such fierce market competition for want to making money. And that's another problem. The competition and the profit is in a way. So we will see that a lot of controls used to be done by government to control the brokers' fees, and everything is doomed to fail because they can always arrange other things to happen overseas, right? They work with the overseas agencies and they split the money right there, right? So you know, even you don't take much service charges here, it's transnational.
That's
really.
Right. Yeah. But how about the social impacts or political impacts, well, especially social impacts of these foreign workers on Taiwan society?
So far, I think if you mean social impact is the social benefit?
Or the interaction between the foreign workers and the local people and some sort of cultural interaction, cultural shocks between the two groups of people.
Actually, amazingly, I think you know, the interactions have been rather good. I mean, a lot of Japanese scholars talk to me about, you know, how they are so amazed by our households can take foreign workers to live in their home, private home, in a small apartment, and you know, they basically share a small room, a small space.
So you're part of family.
Each other,
you know,
yeah.
okay.
So actually, this shows some of our, you know, tolerance and accepting others. The degree of it is really amazing.
Yeah.
So except for some extreme cases, really, you know, other cases or the majority cases look like we can really live together with people from other countries.
But unfortunately, you know, in the news, in the media, you know, there have been reports about all kinds of abuses, you know, by the employers
Which is true.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But in general, do you think that the living condition of the foreign workers in Taiwan is quite okay?
I think it really depends on what kinds of works you are talking about, and they are different issues and problems.
Yeah.
First of all, in household situation, a lot of problem really occur to the foreign workers. They are overworking. I mean, mainly probably they were hired as caregivers to elderly or ill persons. However, almost all of them will be asked to share other kinds of household works.
Yeah.
And actually, it's illegal for employers to do that. But our employers never really take care of that part, and also still ask them to do all kinds of works they think they need to do. And again, go back to the issue I mentioned, that since they are very vulnerable, the foreign workers, they cannot change employers.
Yeah.
So the only thing they can do is really just say yes to all kinds of jobs.
That's right.
You know, put on themselves.
So the policy in general is not preferable to the foreign workers in terms of getting a better treatment in Taiwan.
Right. And then in the factory and construction sites, there are different kinds of issues. But at least in factory and construction sites, it's more public and open. So severe abuses are not so often to be found in such setting.
That's
except for we know that last year or the year before
in
last
Kaohsiung,
year, yeah, I think this is quite unusual that you have this abuse in a construction site.
In addition to the living condition of those foreign workers in Taiwan, there have been discussions or debates about the pay we are giving to those foreign workers. In comparison, especially, some people argue that these people are better paid in Taiwan than in other places. So when we come back, we will talk about this kind of cross-national comparison and see how we treat the foreign workers and how they were returning back to Taiwan. So let's take a short break. Stay with us.